Welcome back to the ADCs of Wrestling. It's been a couple weeks, but we're here. We're back to talk to the Foundation about the terrible week that was in WWE. Yes, it was not a very good showing from the WWE, but we still try to have some fun this week on the show. You're going to learn about the new job that Steve has.
What?
That's right. You got a new gig, didn't you, Steve?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to be on WrestleTalk.
Shut up, Steve. Don't tell them. We'll figure it out in the middle of the show. And we're going to talk about, what we thought of NXT TakeOver Weekend, Survivor Series, all that stuff that we missed on the last couple weeks. So let's go.
Let's go! Let's go! Oh, hell yeah! Are you ready for a show with questionable wrestling impressions by a guy I know? It's gotta, yeah. ADC! Ooh, yeah, dig it! ADC! Let me tell you something, ADC! He watches wrestling! Matt the Mark is awesome, Michael! Do you know your ADCs, the ADCs of wrestling?
Welcome to the ADCs of Wrestling. I am your host, the Weird Al of Wrestling, Andrew David Cox, Mr. Some Weeks Off. We are back. It's been a long time, but I'm glad to be joined, as usual, by my friend, Matt, the PP Pants Mark. How you doing, Matty?
Well, I mean, I was good until you called me PP Pants.
No, you're right. Okay, how about Matt, the mindless Meat Castle Mark?
Wait, have we potted since that happened?
No. So, last time we had a podcast,
yeah.
Becky Lynch was set to face Ronda Rousey.
So she was, okay, cool, yeah.
AJ Styles was WWE champion.
What?
Seth Rollins was mired in a feud with Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin was fighting Finn Balor. So we haven't some
potted
things
since,
have changed,
we haven't
and some
potted
things
since
have remained the same.
July. We haven't potted since June.
No, it was 3 weeks ago. Well, we've missed 2 shows.
Have we?
Yeah, we've missed 2 shows.
But
we're
more.
back.
Feels like more than that. Hello, everyone.
We're back. Anyway.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, we're obnoxious already. I feel like we're already at an 11, and people are probably pissed.
It's going to be a rough show.
We just lost more listeners because they're like, yeah, this is probably a bad idea to give these guys another shot.
I'm not going to lie. I just drove home an hour and a half from work and may have had an energy drink during that period. So,
Interesting. I was super low energy, and so, let's do this.
So it's a Thursday. Got it.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't want to do the pod, Maddie.
We can tell it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Sometimes I just don't want to do it because I don't want to watch the WWE stuff. I don't want to watch it all.
It's true. Oh, this week was hard. This week was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Minus like 1 or 2 promos, this week was tough to swallow.
Well, we're going to do, a quick little news and notes for you, and we're going to talk about the horrible week for Raw and SmackDown Live, and, of course, we're going to have just 2 tweets. Hey, if you're just a listener to the pod in audio form, you're probably not aware of my Becky Lynch parody. Or, sorry, of Steve's, or not Steve's, Becky Lynch parody song.
Right. Not Stone Cold.
Somebody, anonymous submitted a new theme and Titantron concept for Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded familiar to a lot of people, eerily similar to a certain superstar, black vest-clad, jean short-wearing SOB.
Right, yeah.
That a lot of people might recognize. But that's out there. So if you want to check that out, make sure you go to either, my Twitter, or how about you check out youtube.com/the ADCs of Wrestling, because that's the best place to get it.
Cox.
That's gone.
Cox.
No, the Cox is gone. Just stop it.
Cox.
Anyway, speaking of not Steve, I have a kind of an announcement here. Basement Steve got a job.
What?
I know. What? Indeed.
What do you mean he got a job?
Basement Steve got a job.
Doing what?
Okay. Maybe should I get Steve in here?
Well,
Steve.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't chimed in. Man. Ugh, you know what? He's like really, really hungover today. He was drinking last night, and he is just passed out. I don't think. Hold on.
So it was a Thursday. Got it.
Steve.
What? What? Oh, what the hell?
Steve, wake up.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I was dreaming about... Well, I don't want to tell you what I was dreaming about, but I was dreaming and shit.
Steve, tell the people about your new gig.
What new gig?
Your job.
I do no jobs. What am I, Scott Hall? I do no jobs for nobody.
No, the new job you got.
Oh, you mean the Wrestle Talk shit?
Yes, the thing for Wrestle Talk.
They want my opinions on stuff, so I gave it.
That's a poor choice.
Okay, that's a really bad description, but if you've ever seen Wrestle Talk on YouTube, they're really funny. The guys, Ole Davis and those funny chaps, the lads over there.
Yeah.
They're going to do a thing each week where Steve gives his opinion on the week that has been in wrestling so far. And rumor has it that it's dropping actually today, the first one.
Oh, really?
He gave his opinions on what were you talking about today, Steve?
I was talking about Bobby Roode and how he came back and no one cares what, and how he sucks now, and how you got some little orange guy going around being all pee-pee pants on his robe.
Yeah, that's essentially what you can hear. So
little orange guy.
Yeah, little orange man.
Yeah, little Oompa-Loompa son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Steve's still
running
stuck
around.
in the Attitude Era. Got to be careful.
But that's what he's talking about.
That's
So
awesome.
anyway, you can catch Base with Steve on Wrestle Talk on their YouTube channel.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't
So
know you were doing that.
support Wrestle Talk. Give them a subscribe, if you will.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. Hear
Are
that?
you
Are you doing
enjoy-
a video, or are you just? Is Steve doing a video, or is it just?
Nah,
vocal?
Steve's just mailing it in. Man.
Got it.
He's just calling in. You know.
Right.
Did you enjoy Survivor Series weekend? War games, all that stuff? It was
Yeah.
way too much. I was just like, I'm not doing a podcast. There's too much. I
It's-
can't handle it.
Those weekends, like the Big Four, are always too much. There's just so much going on.
Which is so counterproductive for a podcast. Like, that's when I should be doing a pod.
Right. We should be doing more, but we don't. War Games, I thought, was great as usual. I think the Gargano Black and the Ciampa Dream matches stole the weekend for me. The storytelling and everything in it was just brilliant. Obviously, the spots in the actual War Game match were brilliant. That double back, like the double moonsault was ridiculous. The women's match, I thought could have used a little bit more time, but you had mentioned that you thought it was perfect.
I thought the women's match was perfect, man. I find sometimes with NXT, they go too far with the false finishes.
Yep.
And it's like I know it's great and you're trying to get to this awesome chance and it's the whole big show and the kickouts are great.
It's the indie style.
It is the indie style, but it's like it's really predictable at this point. I was watching Ciampa and Dream earlier today.
Yeah.
And it's just like by the 16th kick out, I'm like, you've really blown a lot of opportunities for a big pop with the finish as well. Because the fans are really riled up, and then when it's finally over, it's just such like a thud, and you can just tell that it's over. It's the same way that when Gargano and Ciampa had a few of their matches, you could just tell it was over, and by the time it was finished, you were exhausted. And you're like, the roof would have blown off this place if this match had finished 15 minutes earlier. But so sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's too much for me.
No, you know what? I can totally see that, especially the Dream Ciampa match had a lot of false finishes, but I think there was only one off an actual finisher though, right?
That's true.
Which in that sense isn't bad, but man, there were moments where I actually thought the match was going to end off a non-finisher, and I was like, the false finishes for me in that match were like you couldn't get much better than that. But I see your point of there being too many because, again, at the end when he does finally hit him with that DDT, the crowd, you could hear the air come out of it.
Yeah,
they're
okay.
booing.
That was a takeover finish.
Yeah,
they just knew it,
yeah.
right? They're like, okay, that was a takeover finish, so now the match is over. We get it. We get how this works now. It's become a bit, I don't know, routine in a way. But
man,
that is to
still
say
fun.
great matches are becoming routine. So, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess.
It was awesome. Survivor Series was what it was. I mean, the only real standout to me, I think, would have been obviously Charlotte Ronda. I thought they had...
That was, crazy stuff.
It was just... it wasn't your typical wrestling match. It was kind of muddy, which I really, really enjoyed. And then obviously the finish of it and the beatdown was brilliant, but...
You know how I'm always saying you got to lay your shit in?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Charlotte laid her shit in.
That's true.
She did.
That's true. But so did Ronda. Like there was some hard hits in that one. Like it was really good, and if they were going to replace Becky with anyone in that match, I think they did the right thing, to be honest.
Man, poor Ronda's face was still all like bruised and red and shit on Raw. It's like, Jesus.
Her arms and her back from those kendo shots, I was shocked that she took that much. And credit to Ronda, man. Credit to Ronda, because you don't see a lot of people in WWE take beatings like that. So
no, that was good stuff. I also thought that Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar put on a good showing for what it was, because
it was better than
they managed to just make it feel a little different, because you thought it was going to be a little squash.
Yep.
And you thought that one glimpse of a chance that Daniel Bryan had at the beginning of the match was going to be it, and then they turned it around at the end. He got in that low blow. Brock looked like he was in trouble. Paul Heyman was crapping himself on the outside. And I don't know, I thought it was interesting, but it was weird because Daniel Bryan's a heel, and you're kind of cheering for him in the David Goliath scenario. But
yeah, but I think the explanation of the way that Matt, I can't remember if he did it on Twitter or on SmackDown because it was so damn long ago, but him saying that he let Brock do that to him to beat whatever was left of his old self out of him, right? So
right.
I like the explanation
the old
afterwards.
Daniel Bryan is dead, the new
exactly.
Daniel Bryan is here.
Yeah, which that was on SmackDown Live, now that you've just said that. But I really enjoyed that as well. I think everyone was in the same boat. I like that they let that squash go on as long as they did, because you actually thought, okay, no, he's actually just squashing him right now. This is bullshit. And then the low blow, it was good. It was really good. Yeah,
I thought it was good stuff.
It was way better than expected, to be honest.
I thought actually, like, the actual show, Survivor Series, was a lot better than we expected it to be.
True.
The 6-0 thing was a bit weird. They sort of just swept it right under the rug on SmackDown. I thought that it was going to be much more of a launching pad for a storyline on SmackDown Live, and they basically treated it like absolutely nothing. But hey, that's fine. Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
Headed to the main roster.
Yeah, which is...
Are you excited?
Interesting. I didn't see it coming, but I mean, I guess there's really nothing for him in NXT anymore. I think they need a couple more big bodies on the main roster. I think
like
they need
Lars,
a
big guy on SmackDown.
I think they need him on SmackDown too. It seemed like they were gonna throw him on Raw, but I think it was Michael Cole. It could have been Graves. Basically said he was a free agent, so we don't know where he's gonna end up.
Yeah,
but they lack monsters on the SmackDown side, and it sounds like he's gonna get a push. Like, he's not coming up to just sanity himself.
Although, you know what? Also, you look at the landscape on Raw. You've got Braun Strowman with the injury. You got Seth Rollins. I guess he's obviously feuding with Dean right now, but I don't know. He could be like a kind of a big beast to go up against Seth. So there's room for him on Raw as well. Maybe they want Lars to be somebody that goes up against Drew McIntyre or something in the long run.
Maybe it's... I think that's where I'm a little bit weird on this, because I don't know where he'll fit in. Like, I think everyone else that comes up, you're like, okay, I can see where they can kind of slide in and who they'll start with. But with Lars, is he going to just take over for Braun because Braun's going to be out a few weeks?
I got an idea for Lars Sullivan.
Oh, okay.
What's your idea, Steve?
He could be the third Bludgeon Brother.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no. Man.
Lars Sullivan's the shit.
Ugh.
What? Give that big bastard a hammer. Oh, hell yeah. He could be, when Big Red, oh, rest in peace, Big Red. Oh, goddamn.
He's not dead, man. He's not dead.
Luke Harper's been grieving Big Red since he died. That's why he's off TV, and that's the bottom line. But then Lars Sullivan could come back. That Big Red spirit could enter Lars Sullivan, and he could just be the reincarnate of Big Red, and then they could be the Bludgeon Brothers 2.0. They could be Bludgeon Brothers 2000.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
You were shot out of a cannon, Steve.
Fucking A-Rod I am. God damn, do you have one of those energy drinks for me? Somebody give me a beer.
No, I'm not giving you a beer.
No, God, no.
We're going to talk about the week in wrestling.
Well, then I'm going away because this week sucked.
Yes, it did. Anyway.
Steve doesn't mince words, does he?
No, he doesn't. So, anyway.
I
mean, we kind of went over what happened last time we were podcasting. We brought ourselves up to date here. So, we said that Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins were no longer wrestling, but they did. That sucked.
That really pissed me off, man. That was like, with how bad Raw was, that was the one thing I was looking forward to. And in my head, I was like, if I hear a record scratch or anything and it ends up being Dolph Ziggler, I'm done. I'm out. And
what a letdown that was.
Oh my God.
It made me so mad, Matt. It made me so mad because
it's
a month
so
ago
dumb.
I was complaining about Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, all these guys being involved in the same thing over and over and over again. We finally move away from it. Seth goes out there, open challenge, ha ha ha, and then fucking Dolph Ziggler shows up. And I want to die.
Do you think they're just mailing it in until the new year, until Rumble? Like,
I mean, they have to be. Their whole thing is to mail it in now. I don't know. I'm going to be very negative today because
I would have preferred.
I didn't want to do the pod. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want anything.
I know this week was tough. I think I would have been happier if it was Apollo Crews.
Sure.
Why
not?
Why
Give
not?
Apollo Crews a showcase.
Why not? They kind of had the last couple weeks, and then he's just gone again.
Tyler Breeze.
Well, Tyler Breeze is down doing NXT shows.
That's
NXT
true.
Live shows.
There's rumor about that, which is awesome. Him actually maybe going back.
I hope he doesn't go. Well, I mean, I guess maybe he'd do because he's actually quite good, and we just don't see it.
But why not just bring somebody up from NXT?
Even just for a showcase, right? Like we
the
saw
same way they did with Sami Zayn and all that.
And they did it with Nikki Cross a couple weeks ago. And yes, that was in, the UK and everything, but they could have just showcased anyone. Get a little something into the crowd without showing them the exact same match they've seen over and over. That being said, I liked that it ended on the Falcon Arrow.
Yeah, so lost in all of this is the fact that Seth finally finished a match with the Falcon Arrow because I mean, I don't care if they put on a 6-star match. The fact that it's Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, I'm going to check out.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I fast-forwarded the entire match because you've lost me.
Yeah.
By the time you throw somebody out there that has literally wrestled the guy on television, probably we're in the dozens now. It's so many times.
Yeah.
I just fast-forwarded. I watched a little recap at the end because I know what it's going to be. It's just going to be a challenge. Ziggler's going to get pinned, and that's it. It's just completely predictable, throwaway television. And it's disposable entertainment at its worst. But anyway, Seth Rollins finally ends a match with a move that I've always been saying is his best move. Why are we doing the stomp all the time when, why is this superplex into a Falcon Arrow being used as a 2-count spot in the middle of a match? This is phenomenal.
It's so
I'm
good.
glad it was a finish.
Yeah, and I think it sounds like, and I don't know if it's due to Fox or what it is, but it sounds like the stomp might not be allowed anymore again.
Yeah.
And I thought I read something about it, but I'm not going to sit here and make shit up because I don't really remember. But it sounds like the stomp might be out the window again. So if that's the case, though, I'm happy with his finisher being the superplex into the Falcon Arrow because it's
his most impressive thing.
That being said,
and he used to use the Falcon Arrow on the indie scene, I'm pretty sure, when he was Tyler Black.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet asking people what they thought was Seth Rollins' best move. Unfortunately, 53% to 47% said the stomp over the superplex Falcon Arrow. So 53% of you are wrong.
I think that's a case of the recencies as well. Is everyone liked the stomp way back, then it went away, and it was super exciting when he brought it back. But
the stomp comes out of nowhere. I get it. It's a quick impact move. But the way Seth just scales the turnbuckle like that and pulls it out of nowhere is also pretty cool. So whatever. Let's move along.
Both moves are good.
Yeah. I want to be done this pod. Let's be honest. I want to be done this in half an hour.
It's not going to happen.
No, we're always an hour and 10 minutes. I'm quick 25-minute show today, Maddie.
Nope.
And then it just doesn't happen.
It never happens like that. You guys are long-winded as fuck.
Yes. We are.
Well, maybe if Steve would shut the hell up a little bit.
Yeah, let us talk, Steve.
We'll say something interesting then, shit.
He's got a point.
So...
Solid segue.
Here's super interesting. Baron Corbin, is the GM
fighting someone new, right?
Yeah, him and Finn Balor rekindling their old rivalry. That sucked.
Oh man, I am left wondering legitimately where they're going with this Baron Corbin and this GM thing, because Kurt hasn't been around since Survivor Series.
I know, it's weird,
and this part-time GM thing has been going on. Now he's getting Alexa Bliss to look after the women's side of it. Do you think they're just going to let this go until WrestleMania? until they can have a new legend come in?
I don't know. We got a tweet about that, so we could actually address that in just 2 tweets. But
it's interesting to me.
It's weird how they've paired now Corbin with this threesome of Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. So I guess Dolph Ziggler is now disassociated with Drew McIntyre. Like that's not a thing anymore.
I guess so.
It's just kind of a weird situation.
Yeah.
The one and only Bobby Lashley, isn't that what they're calling him, or it was something else?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I think that's the issue where I can't really see where it's going because I just don't like it. I don't know.
And I don't know, I'm kind of over Leo Rush already. Like that was sort of a one-trick pony thing. I thought it was going to be such a big deal, and he's just kind of come out to the ring with them and not done much lately. It's just like
he needs to be more involved.
It's stale already.
For sure he needs to be more involved because it's not like he's a manager that can help influence a match. So he needs to do more. It's not
he can influence a match.
I mean,
flips and shit.
No. I mean,
damn, look at him flip.
Influence a match as in a manager, like what you would believe Paul Ellering would have done for AOP in coaching them and training them or whatever.
Like book their tickets?
Yeah, it's just...
And walk with them?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, that's what he legitimately did, but you felt as a manager, a legend like Paul did a little bit more. Whereas Leo Rush...
and say things to interviewers like, not yet.
But Leo Rush just, I don't know. It was good to get Bobby over, but they haven't done anything more with him, if that makes sense.
I'm yawning just thinking about it. It's so boring. It was such a bad Raw. It was such a bad Raw.
It was terrible, and I like they got to do something with McIntyre here.
And Braun's out. You've got Elias being booked like he's friggin' Hulk Hogan, and then getting absolutely destroyed by Drew McIntyre. That was pretty damn impressive.
True.
Like an Alabama slam, essentially a flapjack or whatever the hell it was onto the stairs on the outside. Wow.
Yep.
That was pretty good.
Yep. It's good. I mean,
great analysis.
Yeah. Well, I just, the show was not good this week, and
it inspires this kind of apathy.
I was really looking forward to getting back and doing a pod this week, and then the shows happened. I was like, for God damn it.
See, this is why we should have done a pod after Survivor Series.
We should have.
We would have had something to talk about.
Hey, TLC looks like it'll be all right, though.
Yeah, I guess so. What do you think? Like, do you think we're going to get Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre in the TLC match against three other guys?
I don't care about that. We've got Seth and Dean, and then we got a I almost said a three-way.
Are Seth and Dean in the TLC match, though?
I don't know if it's... did they say... It's at TLC. I don't know if they said it was a TLC match.
No, so I'm thinking that it's like... well, Seth Dean at a TLC match would be fantastic. That's probably the way to go. But I have a feeling... they may go for the car wreck and do like the threesome of Corbin and Lashley and that guy against like Elias and two other people, possibly Kurt Angle and somebody else. Or Finn
you gotta get Finn Balor in there.
And maybe general manager.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. I just it's the holiday season. Like it's the start of the holiday season now, and after watching these Raw and SmackDown, I feel like it's being mailed in, but TLC should be decent, especially with the SmackDown side of it, the women.
If they bring out Santa Claus, I'm going to stun his ass.
I bet you will. You've done it before.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's
I
true.
I dropped him on that big roly-poly stack of dabs he calls a neck.
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's not very holiday-ish.
It's not very nice.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be decorating our house later tonight, but you're putting me in a bad mood, Steve.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of putting me in a bad mood, Dean Ambrose had a promo where he was getting needles. So I guess we have Dean Ambrose versus Seth versus the anti-vaxxer movement.
Like this was a Attitude Era Vince McMahon show this week. Like everything about it.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was terrible. You had hospital visits. You had a PP section.
Yeah, okay, but like it didn't hit. And in the Attitude Era, the shows at least hit because they were edgier. This was like a dumbed down PG version of that stuff, and it was the worst kind of attempting to make something different or shocking.
Sure, but that's what Vince McMahon does, and he has to find a way to do it PG. And
what the audience, they're so disgusting. What if you need needles? Ugh. Like you want vaccines. God, they smell. Oh, the stench. Ugh.
It's just the only difference.
You're gonna puke. You're gonna puke.
Fucking Vince.
What if there's a really big needle? Ha ha! This big one's going in your hip. Ha ha ha!
I feel like this is this is what actually happens backstage when people are trying to give good ideas on how to make the show good. And Vince is like, no, the smell of pee is just, if you add nudity to this week, it's an Attitude Era episode.
I mean, we pretty much saw Dean's pubes, so that was cool.
It was close.
I was like, that was a little risque, guys.
I think Renee was sitting at the desk just being like, whoa, that's for home, thank you.
Let me just kind of like pull my pants down here and then, oh, that's a big needle.
I loved how excessively large that needle was.
Oh, that was so like comedic and dumb, but it made it dumb.
Yeah.
It's like, here's an elephant needle. This one's going into your hip.
Yeah. Just so much missed this week. It always bugs me when Raw and SmackDown have bad weeks, because then all the WWE bashers come out in friggin' hordes.
Sure. Yeah.
But
we're usually pretty positive, but this week it was like, what are you doing to us? Why do you make us watch this stuff sometimes? You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, even the best WWE apologist has to come out and just call a spade sometime, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey had a very horrible segment. Nia Jax's promo, I was like, this is not great. They're giving her too much time.
Yep.
But then, comparatively speaking, she blew Ronda Rousey out of the water, because poor Ronda came out and she had to remember these lines and she was forgetting them. I think she was like mouthing to Nia at one point that she couldn't remember stuff. And it was just so bad. And she was trying to work in that made you the hashtag face breaker and all this stupid stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And I almost quit wrestling. I just almost quit wrestling. I'm like, just have her be angry. And as soon as she turned that gear, it was fine again. But it was like the stupid promo they had to do before, where she had to work in hashtag face breaker and made you like the most important wrestler in the country right now and all this stuff. I'm just like, nobody says this. Nobody speaks like this.
She changed the world, don't you know?
Yes, she changed the world.
It just, I don't know. I don't like Nia, this character for Nia either. I just think, I don't know, the cocky attitude just doesn't work for her. Like, she can be a heel, but just be a badass heel. Don't be this weird, cocky, talk all the time sort of heel. And I'm still annoyed that Ronda comes out smiling and shaking hands and waving to the crowd and then gets in the ring and turns the scowl on. Just always have the scowl on. That's your character.
At least the fans were booing her this time, because that was so stupid at Survivor Series, the way people were like all over her. But honestly, if you ask me, Nia Jax was fine on Raw. They just gave her too much time.
Yeah.
And poor Ronda Rousey showed that she's still very green, and they shouldn't have written her such a lengthy promo.
Yep.
That was so convoluted. And so just, I don't know. Just
keep
a
it
vehicle
short
for stupid catchphrases.
Yeah. Just keep it
It was
short.
bad.
Keep it short. But, I mean, you got a couple of your top guys not actually there at the show. You got to fill time somehow. So it's Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey, and then apparently this is your life sort of moment with Alexa Bliss and all this crap. Like, I just...
Yeah, let's talk about Alexa Bliss being in charge of the women's division. You know what irked me about this?
What?
Was the way the commentators were like, you can't do that. She's a member of the active roster. What? How could active roster member Baron Corbin, who's been GM for weeks and we've said nothing about, do that?
So true. So
it's just so
freaking true. I don't mind her, like, this role for her, because she can't wrestle right now. Keep her in the show. She can actually.
She's not even in matches.
No,
of course she can be the acting GM of the women's side. Baron Corbin is changing rules mid-match, and they're annoyed that Alexa Bliss is getting a chance to, like, I don't know, put on a segment or
do
put
anything.
women in a match or like anything. She's an active roster member.
I have to agree with you. I can't disagree at all. It's a little ridiculous, but I like this spot for Alexa. I like this spot for Alexa.
Sure.
I think she can kind of be a little pain in the ass if that's the route they go. If they do anything else with her,
I mean, what else are they going to do with Alexa Bliss?
Well, that's what I'm afraid of. Is that they don't make her a pain in the ass and create all these stupid matches. They might use her to I hate to say it, bring on the tag team championships for the women, which I still think they're going to do at some point.
Oh, excuse me. I'm bored, man.
Yeah. It's the week of wrestling.
I mean, they did solidify the fact that, yes, they are indeed a tag team, and that opened for them. I didn't even remember what the hell people were asking. Were those real questions? Those must have been real questions.
Nope, they weren't. They were, it turns out, like I think there was one girl who was wearing a Ronda Rousey shirt.
Right.
They brought her out right before the segment. She asked a question, and she left, yeah.
I guess you can't really do an open questionnaire segment.
God,
because wrestling fans are just going to be really all kinds of mean.
Why does this episode suck?
Why are you doing a segment like this when you guys are in a tag team, when you guys were at TakeOver in Brooklyn and changed the world, and now you're out here in the ring as a tag team? This is stupid. Why are you doing this?
I don't mind Sasha and Bayley in a tag team. They just need to make it mean something and have an actual feud with someone that's not the Riot Squad.
Hey, you know, it'd be cool if they teased a breakup between the two, you know?
They should. Yeah, we haven't seen that in a couple months.
If we're worried that maybe they weren't friends, and then the tension started to boil, and then they had a big match and a blow off, and then they got another chance to, be successful.
They should do that for a year, and then make them kiss and make up at the end.
Let's talk about Becky Lynch and Charlotte, because for all the bad that was on Raw, this was pretty much the only good part of SmackDown this week. Well, there's maybe 2 or 3 good things on SmackDown.
This was the only good thing of the week.
Other
than take away NXT.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I still think this was better. Joe was good. This was better.
So Becky Lynch and Charlotte, they're back at it. They were, differences aside for a little bit, but they managed to bring the heat back. Obviously, Becky's going to be cleared to wrestle at TLC.
Yep.
They had this battle royal, putting Asuka now in the middle of this 3-way. Man, when they had all the women on the ramp and they were jawing at each other, and Becky's just like, I'll fight any one of you dopes right now. Let's do this. I don't know why. I just laughed out loud. I'm like, she called them dopes.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh.
Becky,
I thought it was funny.
She's just fantastic right now. And I think it was on Twitter as well. She blamed her concussion for hugging Charlotte after picking her to take on everything she kind of touches
see those stars
is
and
perfect.
circles.
Yeah, it's just really good. I like that they've kind of turned Charlotte, because I can actually see this now going towards a Ronda and Becky and Charlotte, the 4 horsewomen getting together. I don't know if it's WrestleMania or whatever, but because I couldn't see how you could have face and heel get together and go against Ronda and her team.
Well, it was nice the way Becky addressed that she could stop pretending now, too. She's like, it's nice to see you finally got your edge back and you could stop pretending to be somebody that you're not. Because Charlotte is much better like this when she is the queen and she is out there doing the same thing Becky's doing and trying to prove that she is the best in the division and that she owns the division. Yeah. So it's fine that they have this styles clash, that's what wrestling should be. People should be out there trying to be dominant and trying to be alpha and just clashing over it. That's the whole point of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it works.
That's when it's at its best.
I like her look too. It seems more natural for her too.
Yeah, she's got the leather jacket, the makeup on.
She's got the
lipstick or whatever.
She's got the smugness in her face too, that's just kind of natural, just like her dad had, right? So
yeah,
it worked. I like that Becky called that out as well. I'd be like, you for a while you were copying your dad, now you're copying the man or something, whatever. So, that was really good. But no, I like this. I like where it could go. I think the TLC match will be pretty awesome. I could see Becky losing that belt, and adding a third person in there makes her lose and still look okay.
Yeah, I think we all know why there's a third person in there. We'll address that later as well. Yeah. Samoa Joe, speaking of, we mentioned him. He lit Jeff Hardy up during this semi-non-retirement speech on SmackDown, but not, getting into that. I don't even know what that was all about, but that was just obviously a vehicle for Samoa Joe to come out and say stuff about his history of alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, let's honor Jeff Hardy because by looking at these photos, this guy's super old, and he's done a lot of stuff before.
The video
not
package
super
was
important
good.
now, but look at all this stuff that he did.
Yeah,
and he's like, man, look at all that stuff I used to do. I can't believe I did that. Enjoy the show. Woo!
The video package was really good.
No, it was good. I mean,
I don't really know. I mean, I guess it's 20-year anniversary, so that's impressive. This is a good way to start a feud if that's what they're trying to do here.
This was honestly their way of doing a fake retirement speech gimmick without ever saying he was going to retire.
Yeah,
and then at the end of it, he's like, "Honestly, this is far from a retirement speech." So I'm like, "So what are you doing?
What is this?" I did.
It's like, "Hey, remember that time I was tag team champion? Thanks, guys, for allowing me to do that."
I mean, I went full mark, and I was a little, at least it was the way Shane reacted to Joe's first comment when he ran up and tried to take the mic from him. I was like, whoa, no.
That was great,
What
though.
what just happened?
It was so good.
It was.
I can't tell the truth. I'm
Yeah.
not allowed to tell the truth.
And then
so good.
I like that Jeff was like, nah, once Jeff was like, no, let him finish. I was like, okay, this was allowed. This was talked about beforehand.
Sure, of course.
But
You're such a mark.
Joe is just, he might be the best promo in the company. Him and
I mean, probably he's the most cruel.
yeah, cruel, and his delivery, the way he changes his like tone level and even just the volume of his voice, he delivers it so much better than anyone else in the company. But he'll never win. He will not beat Jeff Hardy if they're in a feud.
I know. I feel like Jeff Hardy's going to win. They might even make it like a retirement stipulation where Joe says, "If I beat you, you got to retire, old man."
Yeah.
Or something like that, and Jeff goes on to win, and then maybe they have some kind of other situation for him at WrestleMania. I could see WrestleMania this year though being Jeff's retirement, and they're trying to sort of plant that seed in our minds that this guy might not be here for too long.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe they're just trying to make it feel like, every time you see this guy, it is important, like, just enjoy it, take it in. Jeff Hardy is here, and these are all the things that he's done. Maybe these kids don't remember him. So I'm sure there's a lot of different things at play when they do a segment like this, but I think most of all, it was just to tug at our heartstrings and then have Joe come out and say something so mean and just get heat. It's just cheap heat, pal.
Isn't it? It's kind of crazy that the Hardys have been back in WWE for 2 years in April. That it's been that long already.
Well, Matt didn't last that long, but
I mean his fused hip, but
yeah,
it just seems crazy that it's been that long, and you have to think at their age they likely didn't sign a long-term contract. So you very well could be spot on here with this is his kind of swan song.
Oh,
what?
It's my Swanton song.
I didn't even mean to do that. It happened halfway through.
But at the same time, also, Jeff Hardy will never retire. He'll
True.
just be diving off of stuff.
The movie The
until he's
Wrestler was about
75.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel about Joe being the new Bray Wyatt? Amazing promos, awesome gimmick, totally over with the crowd. Everyone wants him to win. Lose.
I think that's a pretty good take. He could definitely, you'll see the diminishing returns in these promos by the time he's lost at his third WrestleMania to somebody else.
Yeah.
I do really like the guy, but I just don't know if he's you can tell he's not the guy that they're ever likely to give a title run to.
Which
at
is
this
so
point.
dumb.
He's just
doesn't make
he's
sense
just
to
there
me.
to stir shit up, and then he's probably going to take a pin.
He would look perfect with any one of those belts.
But is Jeff Hardy the guy that they want to go over in this situation? Maybe it is a Samoa Joe program. I don't know.
I doubt it.
It's a babyface territory, though, pal.
I doubt it, man. I can't see them. I doubt it. I just feel like Joe is stuck where Bray Wyatt was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I don't know if you were going to talk about this, but Bray showing up at Starrcade out of nowhere. And
that was interesting. I was
on this week.
Yeah, I was sad that he hadn't had as much of an overhaul as I would have liked to see.
He had no overhaul. He was the exact same. He had the lantern. He had everything was the same. It was the same character. Unless he was injured, I don't know why he was gone.
He got a big pop. I think it's just trying to get more ties to Starrcade on the show because,
I guess. Ugh.
Like Barry Windham and everybody in his family and his dad being, oh my God, Mike Rotundo. So it's just I think that's why he was there because they don't have people from that era, but one of their kids works there. So might as well march him out there.
Well,
but AJ Styles last night had a little promo.
Yeah.
Not really much on that show for their program. No Daniel Bryan. AJ, just talks about not having the title. That's what it is, whatever it is. AJ apparently wants a part-time contract.
Yeah,
I can see him moving to that.
I was just going to say this as well, and I think it would work well for him, man. Like, he's put in the grind the last couple of years.
The guy carried their show for over a year.
Oh my God,
He had
way
the
more.
title. He was headlining like every house show. I don't think he missed many dates, if any. So I could see him at this age now. He's, 41? He probably
Something
wants
like
to
that.
take it a bit more easy.
Well, and his 365 also showed, like, how often he's away from his family, but also how much of a family guy he actually is.
Yeah, it must be rough.
So I could totally see his contract is up in January, right?
I don't know.
Which would make sense why the belts come up. I don't know. I don't know either, but yeah, part-time contract, maybe even a move to Raw, to be honest.
I would like to see AJ on Raw.
Yeah,
for a bit now.
it's been long
refresh.
enough. It's been 2.5 years that he's run that show. It's probably a good time to move him over.
Slap on the red tights, go out there and kick the shit out of Baron Corbin.
Oh God, if that's who he goes over to wrestle,
I mean, who else?
Rollins.
Well, I mean, there's that, but they're both going to be baby faces.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
It's going to take a lot to turn AJ Styles heel anytime soon, I'm pretty sure.
That's true. That's true.
Speaking of heels and faces, Shane and Miz seem to be frenemies now. I don't know what's going on with Miz, but they were toying with this like Daniel Bryan friend enemy situation before they had to make the switch and put the title on Bryan and turn him full heel. So it seems like Shane might have just kind of slid into his spot, and that might be what they're going to do for a while.
There's
Miz is 2/3 of the tag team, I guess.
which I like. There was a lot of rumors that Shane was going to eventually turn heel, and I almost view the way they've booked Miz the last few weeks as they're trying to move him face.
Yeah, he's becoming more likable.
Yeah,
and just kind of a lovable goof and not like a complete asshole.
That's right. It's in his promos. He's not getting into it with the crowd as much.
Right.
Like he's still cocky and that sort of thing, but it's not the same. And I feel like they're trying to push him towards that face side because I think a lot of people like Miz. They just he was a heel, so he was a heel, and so it might be actually easier to move him to a face than maybe originally thought.
Yeah,
I think.
Like
I don't know.
They're trying to expose his face, like Randy Orton.
Maybe. Oh God.
Is trying to expose the face of Rey Mysterio. I was just trying to segue. It made no sense, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to try it.
It's
and,
fine.
I regret it.
I hate this. It's 2018 and we still have guys pulling masks off. Like, I don't know. It's TJP's doing it on 205 Live and has been for a while, and now Randy.
It's always going to be a
just,
thing, though.
I hate it. It's too much. And
Tradition.
We've seen this with Ray before, and then he wrestled without a mask for a while. Hey,
that didn't exist, pal. Okay, ever since he's been back in WWE, he's worn a mask. God damn it.
True. I don't know. I'm okay with.
You seen Rey Mysterio's face,
dude?
What the hell?
Yes, we've seen his face.
Yeah.
When the hell was that?
It was in WCW. You were the captain of Team WCW at the Invasion angle.
I never saw the kid's face. Shit.
Well, you probably weren't watching their product.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching much of anything. I was pretty fucked up at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate
that's
the whole
just what Joe
thing.
said to Jeff Hardy.
That's true. That's true. I'm okay with Orton and Ray. They seem to have some good chemistry, but the mask thing just annoys me. It's just
you annoy me.
That's fair. That is more
you know what
than
you haven't
fair.
said to me in a long time?
I hate you. What about Lucha House Party being on like 18 different WWE shows?
What about the stupid rule where they're just allowed to have a handicap match at any given time?
I don't.
What is going on there?
Why do they have piñatas? It's so racist. I just like.
I never really thought of that, but
they're Mexican, so they have piñatas. If they're not using them as weapons, are they? Have I missed that in any of the matches I fast forward through?
I don't think there's been any piñata interference, but.
Man.
The 3-man thing bugs me. It's not even like they're doing the Freebird rule where they just pick two and they compete. It's just
or the
a
New Day
handicap
rule,
match.
yeah.
And at least Michael Cole is on top of it. He's saying, so basically this will be a 3-on-2 handicap match is what we're trying to say. And then Renee's like, it's a house party. It's just it's so dumb.
Can you remind me? It's Grand Metalik, it's Lince Dorado, and it's Kalisto, correct?
Correct.
So they're on Raw. They're on 205 Live, and I'm sure of it. When Joe was doing his promo, I'm sure I saw Kalisto on the stage.
Really? You sure it wasn't Ray Ray?
No, I am sure it was Kalisto because it had the dinosaur fins.
Oh, well.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe they
I'm
shot
wrong.
205. I mean, they would have shot 205 live, so he was just there.
Maybe
he just snuck out there to do lucha things. He was just like, well, Joe's going to do a promo, and I got a chance to go out there and sneak. I feel like it'd be a really good lucha thing. If I snuck out there right now.
That's good. That was good. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's bugged me about the lucha house party, and the fact that they keep going over the revival just makes me want to throw stuff.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I just wish Triple H would go to Vince and say, just watch these 3 matches of the revival. Any 3. Pick any 3 in NXT. Just watch them and tell me that you're still going to have the Lucha House Party go over these guys.
I think Triple H is going to be like, Vince, just watch NXT once.
Just once.
Are you ready to watch NXT?
I'm counting.
Also, Nakamura attacked Rusev on SmackDown. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know, but Rusev's gonna win the title because they don't know what to do with Nakamura, and Nakamura's contract is also coming up as well.
Why did they break up Rusev Day at this point?
Well,
they had a squash with Aiden English. Rusev just beat him, but we haven't seen Aiden English since.
There's
nothing
still dumb.
about it.
He was a great character.
The Milwaukee thing was nothing. Rusev Day was over. It's just a case where they got themselves over and management didn't like it. That's the popular smart theory. And I hate to play into that internet shit, but that's what it seems like.
They got themselves over, not by something that creative came up with. They did it themselves.
Were supposed to be heels.
Yep.
Goddamn.
Yep.
Squash them.
Oh, man. I can't wait for Vince to retire. Just call it a career, Vince. You've done great. Pass it on. You're too old.
NXT really is the better show.
It's not even close. Like, there's some great things on the main roster, but the NXT, like, character development, the talent, the types of matches they put on, the shows they put on, their weekly episode of NXT, even though pre-taped, every week is way more entertaining. It's not even close. And I don't know how much of that is Triple H compared to Vince and whatever, but it's just not close.
You know what is close?
What?
Just 2 tweets. In fact, you might even say, it's here.
The following segment was paid for by the ADCs of wrestling.
Hey, yo. This is just 2 tweets.
Two tweets.
All right, 2 tweet me, bro. Let's do this. I didn't go all the way back like 3 weeks because I just wanted to keep it a little more current.
Yeah, but you would have had 2 extra tweets to put in there, and I get it.
Yeah. And also, you guys stopped tweeting us because we basically disappeared. So anyway, here's one from Raider Max, Foundation member. He says, if you had to take a guess at who is winning the Royal Rumble right now, who would you pick? My pick is Balor. Hashtag Foundation Pride. Hashtag way too early predictions. Another good tweet from Raider Max. Balor's a pretty strong one. You could definitely make a good case for him. Who do you think, Maddie?
Oh, man. Like I say every week, I should read these beforehand so that I come up with a good answer.
I just thought that to myself. Well, I was like, I read this to make the rundown, and I never thought of my prediction.
Winning the Rumble, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think... No, they won't be back yet. Holy cow. Maybe someone like Baron Corbin?
I'm saying Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I don't think I could come up with a better one than that. I could see Drew at the end with maybe Bobby Lashley. Maybe that's what they're building up here.
Sure, why not?
I'm trying to think of even anyone on SmackDown who it could possibly be. I think they're done with Balor. I don't think they have a direction for him. I can't see him getting into the title picture. I think they gave him his blow-off championship rematch, and I think that's it. Sorry, Raider.
Mary Carr says, when's the next episode of Between Two Beers? I'd love to hear more Scott Hall stories. Well, Steve's pretty busy with his other gig now.
No, I'm too busy for Between Two Beers. You're just too lazy to produce it.
Don't pull the curtain back too far, Steve.
That is a good point.
Don't pull the curtain back too far.
What the hell?
It's all you, okay? That's what the story we're going with.
Oh, that's a bunch of bullshit.
I don't agree with Steve Upton.
Hey, Scott Hall, what'd you do last night? Hey, yo. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse because last night, me and Steve, we went out on the town, and we were, like, so fucked up.
Oh, damn.
On this, like, sugar we ate, and I was, like, really hyper. And then we went bowling, and it was just 2 spares that I got, and it was like a really bad night.
That was good. That was a good false finish. You got me on that.
That was great.
That was really
that was
good.
great, Scott. That was great. Survey says, one more time, we're going to go bowling. Hey, yo. Scott, you suck.
He's the worst. He is the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You should do.
That was
you should
one
produce,
more for the bad guy. I guess.
You should produce another between two beers.
Steve does it himself. Shut up. Paul Scaver says, if you had a question for Sasha and Bailey during the open forum, what question would you ask? Actually, I think I already gave my question. Why are you in this segment?
I think, yeah. I mean, that's probably it. There's many questions kind of around why are you
How
in
long
this
do we
segment.
have to wait for the hashtag front pony?
How would you two book yourselves without the title?
Joe says, and thanks, Joe, for the heartfelt message you sent us on social media.
Yeah,
this week.
man.
That was very nice.
Yeah, that was
we
pretty
meant so
awesome.
much to some people, but that's very nice to know. So as hot as Becky Lynch is, currently placing her in a triple threat with Charlotte and Asuka, more to protect her or a title change may happen, he said.
Oh, I see. This is what you were referring to when
Yeah.
Got it.
The triple threat is there so that Asuka can take the pin. That's my opinion.
You think? See, I think it's the other way around.
Whether it's Becky or Charlotte, I'm saying it's so that Asuka can take the pin because Becky could pin Becky could pin Asuka or Charlotte could pin Asuka, and you keep the two that are your actual focal points strong. You know they don't have anything for Asuka.
See,
They're
I don't know.
thinking about Charlotte and Becky, and that's it. And Asuka's just there to, I don't know,
I think this
maybe put on a good show. She's a good worker, but they're not going to put the title on her. I really don't think they'll put the title on her.
I don't think they could put the title on her just because it'd be hard for her to carry the title and be the main person without a voice for her. But that being
She's
said,
too busy feeling the glow with Naomi, man.
yeah, I'm over that. That being said, though, I could see her out there to actually end up winning so that Becky and Charlotte can kind of move on, enter the Rumble, whatever it is.
Or just beat the hell out of her.
Sure, so that they can actually start that crossover with Ronda and the other four horsewomen. That's where I could see it happening. I don't. If it was someone else other than Asuka, I would be more on the side of Becky losing the title. But because it's Asuka, and I don't think she could carry a title on her own. I don't know.
Duran says, what do you think of NXT UK getting a takeover in January? Have you guys been following it? Better than Raw these days. I have not been following it. It's too much for me. But I think that every promotion deserves some kind of big show leading up to it because what else are you going to base your storylines around? So I think it's definitely worth it, and I'll definitely watch the takeover.
I've been watching it a little bit. I PVR it every week, and then I do kind of a big follow-up. It's a great show, just like NXT is. NXT UK TakeOver will be brilliant. I have no doubt in my mind.
He also says, how come everyone lives in Andrew David Cox's basement and not Matt DeMarchi's basement? # we need answers. Also, the women's TLC should close the TLC pay-per-view. It very well may, because their storylines are just better right now. I don't know, man. They all live here because I do their fucking voices. That's why. They can show up even when Matt's not on the show. They can show up.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why, Duran.
I was going to say the exact same thing, man. Other than your basement's finished, mine isn't. So
yeah, that's beyond the pod right there. I was texting you last night watching SmackDown, and we were talking about the women's wrestling these days, and it's just incredible that their storylines are so much more interesting right now, and it's almost like they're allowed to play out the WWE that we liked growing up. And I'm not going to go so far as to say it's the Attitude Era because it's not, but it's like they're giving real promos, and this is more just Becky Charlotte on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's like real promos. I mean, there's blood, there's brutality. They're having these really hard matches, and they're just being themselves. And like I said, they're just trying to prove who's better. They're just being the alphas. They're extensions of their real characters. They're not stupid gimmicks, and they don't feel overly scripted. It just feels like real wrestling. And it's honestly, if you had told me 3 or 4 years ago that I was going to care this much more about two women's wrestlers than men's wrestlers, I would have been very, very surprised. But that's the way it is these days, man. Their stuff is just so much better. I
true. And I think it's also like when you look at some of the men that are even on Raw, like Seth and Dean will likely close out TLC. And I don't disagree that it should be the women, but Seth and Dean should be incredible, but it's not. They just have this stupid And I don't know if it's raw
They
creative.
had
but
the one great moment, and
Yeah.
then now it's like Dean is just doing promos. Seth is trying to chase him around the building. Dean's
It's
getting
terrible.
poked in the ass with needles and exposing himself on camera.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Charlotte and Becky would have been doing way better stuff
Yeah.
on SmackDown.
But then look at the stuff that Joe and AJ did. Like, it's there. It's just creatives got to let these guys do this stuff like they're letting the women do right now. And I like what they could do so much more with Drew McIntyre rather than have him
Drew
be
McIntyre.
I'm the Kurt Angle of the podcast world. It's just I don't know. It's weird. They're letting the women go and they're delivering really well. At least a couple of them are delivering, and it's
on SmackDown.
On SmackDown, it's I don't know. Like, if they would when they let Ronda go, she's great. But then when they give her too much this week, it's terrible. So I don't know. It's just I feel like in WWE, they just got to let these characters be themselves, and if they don't work, get rid of them.
Eddie Kokosinski says, it's close to the end of the year, so what's your top 5 matches or angles of the year? Hashtag just 2 tweets fill the show edition. I mean, 5 is a lot, man. 5 is a lot. But definitely
one.
up there, AJ Joe,
Yeah,
Charlotte Becky,
yeah,
Gargano Ciampa,
yeah.
and I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, one of the biggest moments of the year would definitely be the Seth and Dean turn.
Yeah.
But
the
that's
story
all
is
I've got,
kinda
man.
stuck.
That's all I've got.
Those are good, though. Those are probably the ones I would have picked.
Top 3 for sure.
Yep.
Storylines. Other than that, definitely Seth and Ziggler. And you know what? Also, rounding out the top 5 was that great feud between Baron Corbin and Finn Balor.
It's still going on, man.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Okay, nix them from the top 5.
Yeah.
Mary Carr says, is it just me or does Paige sound more and more like Ozzy Osbourne every week? Yes, that is true.
Is it?
Sharon, we're going to have a tag match, Sharon. Where's Shane?
Is it just that she's talking more that we're noticing, or?
I don't know, baby girl. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not great with accents, so even hearing them, I have a hard time, like, getting around them. So, yeah.
Sharon! These two they got in the match and they hurt each other, and now we're going to have a new match, a new champion tag match.
Oh, God.
Jim Martin said, does anybody else think Bobby Lashley's glute pose is related to the smell that seems to be driving Dean Ambrose insane? Hashtag think about it, but not too hard. Wow. Maybe he's just silent farting every time he bends over. That's what our boy Jim is insinuating.
Those are deadly, man.
Let me see your favorite pose, Bobby. And then just bends over and just farts.
We've stooped so low.
Yeah. The smelly Bobby Lashley.
Oh, boy. Anyways.
Yeah. He also asked, Raw seems to be setting up a major babyface challenge to Corbin's trio. Who do you think it is? Just waiting for Braun, Angle, and Stable, NXT call-ups, Lars, Cena. It's nearly Mania season. Dare we hope for the man? No, it's not going to be Becky Lynch. Yeah, I mean, Lars Sullivan could show up. He could be inserted right into that package as, like, Kurt Angle's backup or something. Like, I made a call down to NXT. Here comes Warzy Sullivan. You know.
This is another thing where they'd make a call-up of a heel and turn him face, and it will not work. Bobby Roode, hashtag you suck.
Ugh. Yeah, you're right. I really don't know. Honestly, it's too early to call. The Dupe player at Flame Boy says, we need more characters in the pod with special gimmicks. Basement Steve and Laundry Taker, yes, that's his name now, aren't enough. He also says Basement Steve needs to have a Twitter. Don't put that out there. He's not getting a Twitter.
No.
You saying I should have a Twitter?
Yes, he's saying you should have a Twitter.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
That's why you shouldn't have a Twitter.
Right away.
Yeah. You know, I'm sorry if there's not enough characters for you, Flame Boy. Okay? I'm doing my best over here to corral these people that live in my basement. But it's tough, you know? It's tough. Besides, this week we got PG Scott Hall. And okay, here's a new character. AJ Styles that just got kicked in the junk. Okay, he's been on the show before.
That's an old character.
Oh, he's here. He's breathing hard. Hey, how you guys doing? I wasn't on SmackDown because I got kicked at the Blue Brand. Oh, be nice to each other's device. Oh, boy. See? There's more characters in the show. I'm really struggling this week, man. I'm not a monkey, okay? I can't just dance for you people.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Help me. I need some appreciation. Maybe Chilluminati can give it to us. He says, with all the stuff swirling around with Lars Sullivan, is it still a good idea to bring him up to Maine? Well, I don't know what's swirling around with Lars Sullivan. What's that mean? And which show should he go on? I still say SmackDown Live. And he says, also just wanted to say thanks for you and Matt for putting in the work that goes into the pod. We appreciate it. Thank you, Chilluminati. I needed that.
True. And I think I was going to say this at the end of the pod anyway. Got quite a few messages from folks, some DMs as well about the pod and the foundation, and I'm not going to go into detail, but either way, we really appreciate the support, and the messages were great, and it actually got me uplifted to do the pod this week. We try every week.
Yeah, me too.
We honestly try every week. We message each other early in the week and say, hey, when are we free? Honestly, we're trying. The pod isn't dead. We're going to do everything we can to get it out there. It's just hard sometimes. But no, every message that we got, and Joe sending out that video as well, it was super appreciated.
Yes, thank you to the foundation. The foundation is strong, and we definitely appreciate it.
Super strong.
Hey, if you guys listen to this show on YouTube, this is the last week that it's going to be on that format. You guys have to subscribe to the audio to get our show. It's on all of the best podcast platforms. Your platform of choice can get you the ADCs of wrestling. So, you know, if you have Spotify, you can get us there. It's as easy as listening to us in your favorite music app. But if you want, get us on iTunes, download a podcast app like Pocket Casts or Podbean, which is our actual native host. So we're on there for sure, and you can leave comments and follow us on that platform. So go about that way and get us in audio and leave us a review and subscribe, because we need to get more listeners on that format, that platform, and apparently you can actually tear down the ratings and everything of your video channel on YouTube by putting up just audio podcasts. So there's a method to this madness. I want to get more listeners in the audio, and I want the YouTube channel to attract more eyes, because it actually gets a lot more traffic than our show does, just my parodies and stuff. So I don't want to drag that down by putting our podcast on YouTube. So
it makes sense.
That's what you got to do. Leave us a review, leave us 5 stars, all that stuff, and help the podcast continue going on. Foundation is strong.
Yes, it is.
I guess we'll see you next week. Ball game.
Peace.